Dr. Tim Bandeen.
How's it going? I think last time I was on the stage, it was a band concert, and I was, a little bit younger, so. A few years ago, I remember going to visit my wife's family down in Tennessee. They live in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and we were down there for Thanksgiving. And the morning of Thanksgiving, we decided we're going to go to a turkey trot. A lot of you know what a turkey trot is. It's, a little fun run, usually about 3 miles. People going to run or walk, burn off some of the calories for the gigantic Thanksgiving dinner that's coming up. And at this particular turkey trot, there were some serious runners, some people who wanted bragging rights at dinner that evening. Well, I was going to run with my wife, and my mother and father-in-law were going to walk their dogs and push a stroller with our kids in it. So, right before this all started, my father-in-law asked, he said, "How will I know which way to go?" So my wife answered, "Just follow the person in front of you." So my father-in-law got kind of quiet. He started to smile. He said, "What if I'm in the lead?" So in life, it's easy to follow the person in front of you, or to take your cues from the person next to you. But there are times you might find yourself in the lead. And what will you do when you find yourself in the lead? In moments when you're in the lead, you must have character. Or you most likely won't find yourself in the lead very often or for very long. There's a saying, and it's, "A leader without followers is just another person out for a walk by himself." In life, we all run our own races. You should not limit your dreams and aspirations to the visions of those around you. We've all heard the phrase, "Well, everyone else was doing it." Despite the fact that those stories don't usually turn out very well, those stories start in preschool and they keep going to the water cooler in the small business down the street, to the boardrooms and the halls of some of America's greatest institutions. Everyone else is doing it. When I was in dental school, I figured it out. This is how many tests we had. We had so many tests, I was like, this is crazy. We need to figure out how many do we have on average. And I actually calculated out that we had 1.5 tests or quizzes every single day of dental school. We would have to study these mind-numbing quantities of information and then regurgitate it all back out in final exams. And as a dental student, I had a choice. The choice was I could be finished at the end of dental school and go out and work, or I could continue on to try and become a dental specialist. I wanted to be an orthodontist. That usually takes an additional 3 years past dental school, and earning a spot is really competitive in an orthodontic residency. That application process starts at the end of the 3rd year of dental school. So, it's the 3rd year of dental school, end of the year final exams. I walked into the school, and as you would expect, a bunch of people are studying. And I walked over to a group of 20 of my classmates. They're all huddled around these tables and they're studying really, really hard. And as I approached the group, one of my classmates said, "Hey, have you seen this?" I said, "No, what is it?" "It's the next exam." One of our classmates is dating the professor's research assistant. He printed it off from the computer and gave it to her. She's sharing it with us. Isn't that great? So here I am in that moment. I want to go on to the next level of my education. In that moment, I had an extremely strong desire to perform because I wanted to reach that next level. I mean, the difference between a half a grade, an A- versus an A on a single exam, could make or break my opportunity. I had to choose whether I would follow someone else's lead or create my own. What if I'm in the lead? I politely said, "No, thank you," and I walked away. I walked away not knowing in that moment if I had just cost myself my opportunity to go to the next level. But I knew for sure that walking away was important because making it to the next level wasn't worth it if I didn't do it with character. As I walked away, this is the cool part, some of my classmates came with me. Because you see what happens when you demonstrate character, sometimes that inspires others to do the same. Other times, it's lonely because no one comes with you. As you heard when I was introduced, I'm an orthodontist now. I was able to make it to that next level. One of my classmates, when I got to orthodontics, shared some similar stories with me. And I remember during his interview with the Department of Orthodontics at the University of Tennessee, they asked him, they said, Sean, tell us about your grades. Is there anything you would like to tell us about the grades on your transcript? Sean said, yeah, very clearly, I would like to tell you, I know not every one of those grades is as high as I want it to be, but every single one of those grades is mine, and I worked hard for all of them. So, got an embarrassing story to tell you. I cheated once in my life. One time. I was in 3rd grade. So I was in 3rd grade, and I lived in Seoul, Korea, and one of the spelling test words on my spelling test was Seoul, as in Seoul, Korea, the capital of Seoul. And I was just afraid that I could not spell it correctly. So the test word came up, and I wrote it on my paper. And I'd written it down on a piece of paper in my desk, too. And I leaned back. Just wanted to check, make sure I got it right. I did. I got it right. I didn't need that. But it's been 31 years, and I still remember that. At that moment, I said, I'm not going to do that anymore. Because, if you act without character, let someone else lead your race, let yourself stray from where you know you should be, that can become easily become a habit. And then you do it again, and again, and again. The good thing, though, is the opposite is also true. The more you act with character, the easier that becomes. So, there is such a thing as a good habit. A few years ago, I heard something really inspirational that I have to share with you. It was a close friend of mine. He asked me, he said, do you know the difference between a thermostat and a thermometer? Anybody? A thermometer adapts to the temperature in the room. A thermostat sets the temperature. So he went on to explain, there are two types of people in this world. There are thermometers and there are thermostats. I'm going to ask you now, are you the type of person who adapts to those around you? Or are you the person who clearly sets the temperature, the tone, the character? What kind of person that you've been up till now is not as important as the kind of person you can be from this day forward. By running your own race instead of setting your moral standards on the expectations of those around you, you can be a thermostat. Set a good temperature for those around you, but set that temperature with character. So I want to congratulate all of you on your wonderful accomplishment of being part of National Junior Honor Society. That's a huge deal. And I want to urge you to ask yourself every day from this day forward, what if I'm in the lead? Thank you.